Yoongi. June?
Oh, Archita is everything.
Oof.
Archita is everything. Oh my God, I'm not even
Yeah.
holding my mic. I'm not even holding my mic. Hi, we are.
NoonaTalk.
I'm Zara, and this week has been a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions.
I'm Sophia, and little bit is an understatement. It has been whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
where that like, what is the gravity drop wala, right? That's the one
Yeah.
that we're on. Free
That's
fall. We're on a free fall.
seriously. We are on a free fall that only goes up and down.
And we are also Noona Talk, a podcast where we talk about K-pop, K-drama, K-culture, K-beauty, anything about K-world, especially if you're a Desi stan. But even if you're not, we welcome you with open arms. We have a weekly podcast here on YouTube where you can watch us talk, but you can also just listen to us talk on all podcasting platforms like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, wherever else you get all your podcasts. We're also on Instagram at Noona Talk, exactly like it sounds, and you can follow us there for like shorts, not shorts, reels, giveaways, more engaging content, one-on-one discourse, me being sad about other things that are happening in the K-pop world.
Food
This week,
reviews.
oh yes, of course, all the food reviews and taste testing that's going on. But this week is all going to be about Coachella. But before we can get into all of that and like K-pop be in the main center stage of that,
Mm-hmm.
what's up
Here.
poppin'?
What's popping, guys?
Lots is
Okay,
popping and
so
seems to all
so
stem from one group.
so much is going on. K-pop is a roll. K-pop is in its roller coaster era, and I think summer is the time when everything is happening. So, but let's start with our favorite BTS. What's popping with BTS? Because so much is happening.
As of recording this podcast, Hobie has announced that he is leaving for the military tomorrow. I mean, just
Yeah.
like between all of us, amongst all of us, we were aware whenever Jungkook comes back from US, it was going to happen, and
But
he did
but
land.
Jin did tell us because he
Correct.
went under Hobie's post on Weavers and he was like D minus one. You know, everyone has those countdowns where they're like, oh my god, 500 days till Jin comes back, 400 days till Hobie comes back, and Jin has Jin has the countdown where it's like 1 day until Hobie joins me, 50 days
Honestly,
until XYZ. Like he has those countdowns.
I enjoy how you're saying people have that. I have that.
It is
Like I
good.
have the 2025 thing as well. Yeah, so we did know that Hobie is leaving soon. He has, the second egg has been secured from the Bangtan lineup.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it is sad. But I think because we've been through the process before, I feel a little okay right now. Like right now,
Yeah,
I
I
feel okay.
think
Ask me
Jin's
tomorrow.
I am sad, but I think just Jin livening it up and Hobie being all like, "Oh, I'll be back soon." It's like that he's just going for a trip. Like that's how he's treating it, and I think
In great news, Yoongi's last couple of days before album and tour and D-Day documentary are all we're gearing up, we're ready.
upon us,
And they've
yeah,
just announced a new Switchita, but not Switchita episode.
Archita
Which honestly
episode.
left me, yeah, it left me screaming.
I'll tell you, I saw the thumbnail, and in my mind, Hobie was supposed to be the guest. Okay, this I knew. I was like, "Nee, Hobie's gonna be the guest, 100%. He's got the feature. It's gonna happen. We've seen the bottle."
Right, what? Yeah, and his signed bottle is also there.
I sat for 5 minutes. I didn't even click on it. I was convincing myself that that jaw, which clearly belongs to Kim Nam, dude, and I know what that jaw looks like. And I'm like, no, this is Jung Ho sir. I didn't even click on it. I was like, this is Hobie. This is Hobie. And then I'm like, oh, if it's not Hobie, which actor is this? Because who was expecting June? But other than that, what else is popping? Okay, so Blackpink, we are obviously going to talk
Oh,
about their phenomenal performance. But before that, there has been a lot going on with Blackpink. Rumors, all the rumors are true. So, I mean, this we discussed where Rose was accused of being in. There was a photo of Rose that came up with like I think Gucci, or which brand does she represent? One of her
maybe I think she's
brands.
maybe she's Dior or something. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea.
No, Dior is Jisoo.
Oh, you're
Um,
right.
Someone was like, "Oh no, there's drugs on the table," and then they made this huge deal out of it, where they're like, "Oh my God, Rose is doing drugs." First of all, even if there are drugs on the table, there are 15 people in that party. Okay, what if she's not doing the
Okay.
drugs? But
If you are somebody who hasn't seen this photo yet, please go look at it and understand that that is not drugs. Honestly, that is not it. And also,
it's just like
like,
shine.
it's barely shine. It's maybe just like some cheese. It's something. It looks like chalkboard se kuch likha ho. It's the most knuckly
Hmm,
drugs photo, first of all. Second of all,
that's true.
nobody poses for a photo with
With
ample
drugs in the
amounts of
background.
drugs on the table.
And then, secondly, when the drug thing died down, people looked at the photo once again, and there was some actor, Kang the one. He's like an older actor, and everyone's like, "Oh, they've been in the photo together twice." And then apparently they had that one matching necklaces and all of that. And immediately after the drug rumor got shut down, this news cycle completely started. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then YG within, and this is like breaking YG history within like less than 24 hours of a rumor starting. They already put out a statement saying that, uh, shut up. It was like YG,
That's so sad. Like poor Rose, first of all. Like
yeah.
पहले तुमने drugs करा और फिर तुम बुढ़े आदमी के साथ इश्क करती हो. Like
He's not Buddha, but he's just like older. Like he's in
okay,
his like late 30s.
oh, that's not buddha at all. Sorry.
Now, fun regular K-pop news. I think that's enough rumors for now. La Seraphim, we've already talked about, are announcing a full album, and Yujin has a producer credit on this, which is awesome. And aespa has also released, oh, this is really sad. Okay, so we know that if you've been keeping up with like the SM issue, they've really been pushing aespa as like
Struggling,
the
yeah.
star child to the investors, and saying like, oh my God, aespa's gonna save the world. And we're like, oh my
Hmm.
God, they can't even save the navis from Black Mamba. How are they gonna save the world?
Lord.
But yeah, so aespa was supposed to have a comeback in February, which obviously got delayed because of all of that. And then the entire thing was that the big thing against Lee So-man was that he was forcing aespa to sing a song about planting trees, and then aespa got upset
All
and they
right.
cried. And the chief executive officer at the current or the past CEO, whatever, he talked about this a lot. It was a big thing. So then aespa had a fan meeting slash performance in
Hmm.
which, and they had been hinting, of course, that they have a lot of songs, and they performed 10 songs which were completely new. Yeah, the
Oh.
unreleased music. Yeah,
Oh.
which
Wow.
was gonna be, yeah, a full album. And then, okay, SM has announced that aespa are releasing a mini album with 6 songs.
So where do the rest of the four unreleased songs go?
Exactly, exactly. And like the fans are obviously upset, and I'm sure the girls are also upset. Their comeback has just been so hodgepodge for so
Of
long.
course.
Yeah. NCT had an NCT subunit, NCT Dojejung, which is Doyoung, Jaehyun, and Jungwoo, have released their first mini album. Yeah.
Oh wow, how have I missed this? I have what? I'm what? Hey, let us know in the comments if we should react to this.
Yeah. It's called Perfume, and it's like shaped like it's a perfume bottle. That's the cover. And oh my God, I forgot the most crazy news. You know how like the SM hype takeover was such a thing, and then it didn't happen, and all of that. Now all SM artists are joining Weavers.
Oh gosh,
Crazy.
yeah. Oh right, of course. I did I mean yes, the Weavers thing is happening and potentially there's a subscription based model coming with Weavers.
There is already. Did you know this? I didn't know this. Where it exists in Weavers, where people who take the membership don't just get membership content. For some groups, even posts are under membership, like texts and like, hey, what are you doing, army? Blackpink has that, where all their posts are only for membership people.
No,
But
no,
they
go on.
are going to introduce a text, like something like Bubble, where you kind of get a text from an idol. So I think they are going to build upon that. But like, the The
Yeah, because
subscription
we
thing.
just need more of an opportunity to build up our Delulu life.
Exactly.
Now that we've talked about Blackpink, I think it's time for us to get into it. Yeah.
Get into it, yeah.
Man, okay.
So,
Okay.
Coachella. I think before
Let's be
anything,
honest. Okay, I in my mind have been saying it for a while. It was K-pop-Chella.
so great to see this. Like, being, I mean, I became a K pop stan somewhere around 2018. You've seen K pop, you've kind of been into it on and off since a very long time. And it's just like niche, unknown thing. Oh, whatever, Chinese baat karta hai. Like, that's the kind of shit you
Yeah,
get.
like a lot of racism and all of that, like xenophobia has always been an issue, and like a lot of people do
Yeah.
always like the manufactured, this is a factory, and all of that nonsense
Hmm.
has always been a thing. To now see it on such a huge platform, Coachella is
Yeah.
incredibly mainstream. It's a
Hmm.
huge deal, and to have
It's
so
one of the
many.
most social. It's the most socially talked about festival. Like even if in numbers it might not be the biggest, in media
Hmm.
presence it is the most talked about uh, music festival in the world. Like not
Yeah,
even
true,
arguably.
true. Like, I mean, there's a
Hmm.
lot of other festivals around the world that may have like a higher number of artists turn up for like, lineup, but everybody knows Coachella. Like, it's such a thing. It's a
Everyone talks
thing.
about it
This was probably one of the best Blackpink performances I've seen as a collective. Like,
this is
I
the
think I have
best Blackpink performance I have seen. That that's it.
no, but the reason why I say collective is because I have never seen
Like,
all four of them perform at the same, not same, I still don't
never.
think it was same, but like at a
Hmm.
good standard level where like they were all the same
Hmm.
energy. They were all not same energy. Again, they had a
High
bar
level,
of like
yeah. There was a base. The baseline was very
correct,
high for the energy that they
correct.
had, and I mean that
Yeah.
is what it means as a group. Because if a group is performing and then three people, like two people are not performing, one person is performing, then it's not a great group performance.
Hmm.
But I think this is the best Blackpink performance that I think they have ever given. And
In
honestly, I
one
didn't
word,
go into.
shocked. Because I genuinely, not to sound like a hater, I didn't think they were capable of this. I really didn't. Like I've watched a lot of fan cams. I've been like not tracking, but it's impossible to exist on the internet and especially
Of
Twitter, be a
course.
K-pop fan without seeing their like world tour clips. And it was always just like, honestly, I would not pay money for this. I would not pay money
Mm.
for watching what they were putting out in the world tour. So I am stunned that they went to Coachella and did such a great job. And I think a lot of it also has to do with their like arrangements were different. And I think that also played into me enjoying it a little bit more personally.
Hmm.
But like
Yeah.
overall, also, it was just, I was like, bro, if you could, what have you been waiting for?
Yeah, yeah. And I think this is where I think what comes into play. This is just my theory, not fact. Where we've known that Blackpink are also they're not hiatus, they don't like completely go blank, but they also take huge pauses in between their promotion sessions. So 2019 when they did Coachella, when the album came and all of that, after that like they've not been doing anything. So in terms of music and performances, so I think this world tour has been polishing them for their performance is what I feel, where
But like they've
when you
all done
don't do
solo
something for a
work.
while.
I mean, most of them, like I know
So they've all done
Jisoo's.
solo work, but like doing performance work versus just recording 5 times on Music Bank and then they just don't do any performances, right? Like it's not like other groups where someone does a festival, someone does like a fan meeting, like kuch na kuch most people keep doing here or there. They do a feature, like whatever, like musically involved stuff. They don't do
Hmm.
any of it. Like, they majorly do fashion. This goes where I don't know about you, but I don't like all of Blackpink's music. I appreciate a lot of it. Some songs I really like, but I don't listen to all the music, or they're not artists who are in my regular rotation. And a lot of it has to do with how EDM heavy their music is because that's just not my genre. But when I
Hmm.
listen to people who's one of their top listen to artists are Blackpink or they really like their music, a lot of them say they use it while working out because it's great
Yeah.
workout music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's And like watching this made me realize, of course, they are also bringing the energy and the mixes were great. But like their music is so perfect for a festival because EDM is great. Like you're just dancing and having a great
Absolutely,
time.
it's
And
bopping music
hmm,
and it makes
yeah,
sense and
yeah.
it works in like these, honestly, this mob mentality crowd atmospheres. It just makes
Hmm,
sense.
it
So yeah,
does.
their music really does work for that. Like you can't, this is not the space to do like an on the ground song, but this is a great space to do a shutdown song
Yeah,
or
or
like Kill This Love or something like that, right?
like how you like that the ending was so good at live, like the oh,
Like I don't have enough words to explain. Like shock does not encapsulate my I was
hmm, hmm,
shook.
hmm. But like the handheld mic section, like after the solos, the energy was off the charts. I don't know what, like bhoot aaya, kale kapde pehen liye, crazy
I
ho
mean,
gaya.
obviously,
Like,
given what we know about Rose, cocaine kiya. Duh.
and what played in Blackpink's favor for Coachella was that not only were they really, well, it was a very tight, very great set that started. I mean, it was 15 minutes late, but that's pretty normal. But the fact that the other headliners were Bad Bunny, who gave an okay performance and then had a couple of mishaps. And the other one was Frank Ocean. And if you don't know what happened with Frank Ocean, you should look it up on the internet because that was a disaster.
When I say
So,
Messi,
yeah.
you say Frank Ocean.
And I think what was really smart was immediately after the performance ended, YG released the dates for the North
Encore stages.
America
Yeah, yeah,
tour.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that was very smart, and I think we're gonna get a lot more Blackpink convertees after this.
Next up, Jackson Wang. Jackson Wang, who, for people who may not have known, we have watched live. Ooh,
We have. You should check out our episode on Lollapalooza India to see
which was a great show.
how we liked it.
Um, okay, so I watched the pre-party part of like the show as well,
Oh,
where yeah,
what
so
is
there was
that?
like a there was about a 20 minute long like documentary sort of thing, like a lead up to Jackson's
Road
performance
to.
that they did beforehand,
Hmm.
which was also streamed by Coachella, which was really interesting to see. So okay, um, I didn't know this. I only found out in the performance direct, like the sorry, the pre-party documentary where Sean Liu is his production, like dance producer. Like I had
Yeah,
no
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I'm so
Hmm.
impressed. Like I have watched him perform since he was like really, really young. Like I think he was still like a young
Hmm.
teenager in high school. And to see him being like a performance director for Jackson Wang is so insane. Like that was a
Yeah.
whole nother experience for me. But okay, now let's talk about Jackson because
Musical theater who? Because I watched a lot of, I don't know if you did, I watched a lot of Coachella sets, okay? And most of them are just like, yeah, we're singing a song party, which is what even Blackpink, I mean, it was great, but it was like, yeah, we're singing our songs party.
but nobody came
But,
out and told a story.
and there's levels to this. Like, we've seen Jackson live, and that was also very immersive kind of story.
Yeah,
There was storytelling, but
there was story. There was
obviously, there was,
absolutely story. But
but there's a
this,
difference in levels.
oh yeah, look, man pulled it out for Coachella, and like I am so happy that he did. His stage was incredible. His dancers, like mad shout out to his dancers, they were phenomenal. Like the part where which is the song tastes like cigarettes. Uh, don't stop now, you got me ready to blow.
Blow.
It's blow. I had to do the whole song. Sorry, but it starts with taste like cigarettes, and like the thing where he lights up the cigarette from the back of the dancers. Like what was happening?
There was so much magic. Did you see how he pulled like a sword from like the animation?
There was an entire thing
Hmm.
where there was a lot of elements that he used, and he did it really well. Where he would have a
Magic.
mix of no, I just mean like he had a mix of props and he had a mix of dancers and then a lot of things with the backdrop. Like there was a visual element of the backdrop which
Hmm.
was used
That's
in his
true.
performance, where he did solo work with the backdrop, where there was like him and his
Hmm.
shadow self performing together, which was incredible
Mind
to watch.
blowing.
There was also one where he danced with only one dancer. There was one where he danced with the entire group. There was this incredibly meta Jackson versus Jackson fight scene
Oh, that was, I
when
think that was my favorite because it came in so early and he just
yeah,
came with a like a person in a different, like he was so I think you're right. Jackson has been teasing Magic Man too, and he was wearing his regular Magic Man outfit, and then this guy comes in a half and half red and black or red and
half
black.
red, half black. Yeah.
Yeah, they show the video of the person, masked person, killing Jackson, and then when he takes off the mask, it is Jackson, and then we get that
But
new
like that
Jackson to
entire
do.
process was also so well done, where like while the AV is playing, they cut it along with the crowd of the
The
dancers on
dancers,
stage.
yeah.
And I think that
No,
just
initially I
added
thought
to the
something was wrong, and then
oh really?
I don't know, I thought so because I'll tell you what, they added an audio where it's like, Jackson, are you okay? And I don't know if that was an
Yeah.
audience member that said it or if that was part of the like
No, no,
vocal
no. So it was one
thing.
of the dancers who says it into his mic.
Oh,
Ha-
and
uh,
there was a big thing that we're not talking about.
oh, sorry.
Sierra was
Yeah.
there.
That was insane.
Random.
Like, I mean, for a day or two before, we kept talking about this because 88 Rising kept tweeting that historic performance. We were like, wonder what's going to happen. And
Yeah. No,
the
I was
way,
like,
okay,
what is
and this
happening?
was so clever that she did level up to begin with.
That's true.
But
But honestly, like I think one thing Ciara showed was like you could she was so polished, like you could tell all her experience and everything, like her voice, her dancing, her confidence on stage was just like this is someone who's done
phenomenal.
it and who knows she owns it. Yeah, that was really good.
Phenomenal. And I think it was planned also
Hmm.
really well in terms of the storyline and in terms of just like visually gripping. Like at some points, you had something to watch, you had
Hmm.
something else, and it kept moving and it kept the stage really, really dynamic.
Engaged. For me, a big issue with the album was that with the visuals and the songs that we got before the album, it didn't meet my expectations in terms of
Hmm.
storytelling. And I think, of course, he is still a young artist who's working on his craft and he can only grow and he's very dedicated to it. So I think this for me felt like a step up from like the kind
Yeah.
of storytelling that I wanted from him. This gave me that.
I feel like this is something, I mean, you're right. Even I was also not maybe as disappointed as you were with the album, but like I still do agree with a lot of the points. I think his forte is being a visual artist as opposed to being
Hmm.
just an oral artist.
Just musical, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, everybody has growing and all of that to do. And I'm hoping maybe we get more of these like performance based releases. But yeah, I'm going to preface this entire thing by saying I know very little about DPR. Most of my knowledge of DPR comes from being around you. I know who they are, I know what they look like, I know some of their music, but like I don't follow
Mhm.
them. I think they're very good looking. And I have that has been compounded into me now. Like
Yeah, I think same
I'm
for
not even a
me.
muscle person. Like if I talk about muscles with a big like icky tone, but man, oof.
Same, because I think for me, for a very long time, I wasn't into Ian's music, and I was like, "Oh, he's just a pretty boy." But I always thought in my mind that I shouldn't put
Judge
his
a book by its
looks
cover.
before his music. No, I shouldn't, because a lot of people would just like him for his music, for like him for his looks, and be like, "Oh, he's so great." And I always used to think like I shouldn't just get into him because he's hot, right? Because I love Live's music. I think I love the genre he does. But for Ian, it took me a while. But like the new, like the last two releases that he has were like, oh, he's also a musical artist, and I was like, I respect him for his music. I don't want to objectify him.
But
I tried my
sometimes they
best.
do need to be objectified, and this was the perfect stage.
You're dying for it.
Asking for it, honestly. Like,
Hmm.
oof. Like I remember I think I'd sent you like their photo like from the day before when it was just literally
Yeah,
them in
with the
like really cool
jackets.
jackets which had
Hmm.
like incredible embroidery done on them, and I was just floored at that point. And it escalated. They were like, hold
Hmm.
up, it gets worse.
And for me, honestly, for Live's performance, I was actually disappointed because I have seen them perform a lot, and Live is I can really like his music. He has a lot of great music, hits, bangers, and he does it really well. But this time, maybe they've been touring so much. But oh my god, that man sang. He took his shirt off. He like talked to the audience. He's like, "How you doing, baby?"
Good baby, oh my god. And okay, again, preface, like disclaimer required. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. A, when men talk, first of all. That's already a pet peeve. I'm like, baat kaise kari? Audacity. Second of all, baby is just such a icky thing to me. Like I just DPR Ian walks out and says it, and I'm like, oh my god.
He was sang. If you think Rose was singing, Ian was singing. Okay, like there was no backtrack after a point. He was just like pure vocals. The guitarist was I feel like I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know
the,
words. I'm
the
describing
guitarist,
this
like
terribly.
sorry, I forgot to mention this, but like the band, the live band for both Jackson and Ian,
Oh,
incredible. I think
Jackson's
like
live
they
band
were in
was
their
so
zone, they were in the element. I think festivals with live bands is just the best idea. I mean, always, just
true.
put a live band. This is something I think overall, just like all three of the big K-pop stars who were there, artists who were there, one of the startling things that I felt with all of them was the difference in energy. Like they came out here, and all
Hmm.
the Western and Latinx artists who were there were like here ish.
Not all of
Not
them,
all
but
of them,
yeah.
but the ones that I watched. So yeah.
Yeah, the energy was there, and I think the crowds, and this is something I love about K-pop crowds, was they're so engaged, and even with, especially like not to minimize Blackpink's and Jackson's crowds. Obviously, they were really engaged, but I think DPR, they're such a small collective. Like they're just like those 10 people together who've been doing this since the beginning, and like they've also built up an audience who gives them the same level of engagement as a major a big three company like idol
Like an
engagement. I
idol,
think
like K-pop idol versus.
yeah.
Hmm. No, absolutely.
So yeah, I think that was the Coachella wrap up, and there was also another artist called Lauren, who's a independent artist from the Black Label, which is a YG this thing, and he has
Oh
some
yeah, this
production
is
credit.
their name on this lineup. I didn't know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they were a YG artist.
But I think what's really cool is that, of course, last year we've seen like little bits and pieces of K-pop artists performing at these major music festivals, and this year the Coachella was huge. We also have TXT headlining Lollapalooza in Chicago. That's insane,
And New Jeans are also there.
and New Jeans are there, and a lot of other artists are there, and I don't remember. I think DPR, Ian, and Live are there at Lollapalooza. Also, they're performing everything this year. And Stray Kids are also headlining the Lollapalooza in Paris. So these are like very, very huge steps, I think, in the global.
Massive mainstream
Yeah.
events.
And I'm so glad, and I hope IDK, as a fellow K-pop artist, it kind of makes me emotional. Where I'm just like,
Did you say a fellow K-pop artist?
sorry,
When did
K-pop
this
fan.
happen? When did you become a K-pop artist?
Sorry, I meant fan. As a fellow K-pop fan, like you guys all are. Like I don't know if you feel this way, but I kind of feel emotional. Where for a lot of time it was just BTS, and I'm of course a huge army, so I'm really proud of them. But it was just them. But now seeing so many other people crop up everywhere, it feels like the movement is getting bigger, and I think I'm into that.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Like, good music deserves to be heard world over, and that's all that matters. And I think, of course, for me, I don't. I mean, I'm sure for you as well. I don't know, but I can't speak for you. But like for me, a lot of it is that it got stigmatized as this like girls thing, like women like it
Hmm.
only because they're pretty boys, and for that stigmatization to like slowly get hopefully taken away and just be recognized that
Reduced.
nah, maybe pretty boys can also make great music, and that's all there is to it. I mean, it's all of course just externalized misogyny that's at play in these sort of things. So it's great
And
to
xenophobia.
see. Oh yeah, of course, xenophobia, but like I also mean like as femme presenting people, it's easy for us to be like, oh, we're into K-pop, and people always do reply with like a scoff and an eye roll. But for
Mm-hmm.
maybe, in the future, for it to be like, oh, hey, did you see like them being awesome at like whichever artist being awesome at Lola, or like at Coachella, and these sort of things, like the conversation and the narrative shift. And I think I'm always just going to be here for that. This was our episode about Kpop-Chella. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch Kpop-Chella? Let us know in the comments below, and also give this video a like, because obviously you liked the video. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. In the meanwhile,
About August D.
but yeah, it is going to be about August D. There will be more reactions coming soon. If there's anything you want us to react to, any MV, any K drama you suggest that we add to our K drama or K flop series, please send us a DM or comment down below. We will be back next week. I was Zara.
And I was Sophia. See you next time.